Yes, sir. Weitzel, wait 1 second here. All right. We've got live. We are recording. Weitzel, I'm heading back to you right now.
Beautiful. Thank you.
All you, sir, I think.
Good evening, everybody. We'll have student athletes and Coach Ferentz on here in a few minutes. Just a reminder to all of the media, our Zoom links can always be found on the Iowa football media page. Zoom links for the weekly news conference, post-game news conference is on the Iowa football media page. So if you're having trouble tracking down Zoom links, just bookmark that page and you should always be able to connect that way. I'm currently going through and giving everyone recording privileges. If I don't get to you in the next couple minutes, let me know. I may have accidentally skipped over you, but we'll make sure everyone's recording that needs to be recording before we get started. Okay, looks like the first player will be Chauncey Goldstein. Hey, Shane. There we go. Okay, if you have a question for Chauncey Goldstein, please raise your hand in the participant window. We'll start with Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Chauncey, I mean, I guess first of all, what was it about your defense that was able to solve an offense that, it scored a lot of points on a lot of pretty good teams?
Well, defensively, the coaches had a great, hold on. So the coaches had a great play scheme. I can't even think right now. Hold on, gotta cool down. All right. Okay, so we had a great scheme set up for this week, and we just went out there practicing hard all week, trying to get better. And we knew that if we came out there and we practiced hard and we played hard, you don't know, all you can do is just hope for the best results. And you see what we got today. So,
what was it like celebrating with the pig?
That was nice. I went in there. I was the first person to get in the locker room and try to pick it up by myself. It's a little heavier than I thought. Been a while.
Tom Kakert.
Chauncey, can you talk about Zach Van Valkenburg and his development the last 3 games? I mean, he has 3 sacks tonight. How he's really come along for you guys?
My boy Bout. He really was. He was doing his thing. Well, at one point in the game, we were like, Bout, you just don't want to get a sack, huh? He missed some, and he's just relentless. And every day he comes ready to get better, and he has a great mindset. So I'm just happy to see that he got his sacks in today and that he's getting better week by week, day by day.
Chad.
Hey, Chauncey. You guys held them to no points on an 11-minute drive, and at the last play on that drive, you and Nick strung out Mo for a 1-yard loss. How big of a stop was that for you guys to kind of restore some momentum?
Yeah, that was great. Like we were bleeding bad, and they took up the only good thing about that was that they took away basically the whole third quarter. But for them to have a drive that long and to come away with no points, it just shows that we were out there, we bent, but we didn't break, and that's all you can do in those situations. Just try to do what you can, and we came up with a stop at the end, which was great.
Mark?
Yeah, Chauncey, what was the plan of attack against Ibrahim? Because you guys kind of held him in check.
The plan was the plan was to stop the run. We did that as best as we could. And to stop the run, you got to get everybody. Coach Parker was talking all week, like, if you want to be in the picture, you got to get to the ball. The pitcher is going to be taken where the ball is. So all week and weeks before, we've been preaching getting to the ball. And we've seen, like, he's a hard runner, and he runs through arm tackles, and he doesn't go down easily. So the more people we got at the ball, the easier it will be to bring them down.
Scott?
Yeah, what were your thoughts at the end when they left their first team offense on the field and you guys were putting in your backups? And I know you wanted to keep that shutout. I mean, was it kind of frustrating to watch that? And then, of course, your coach calls 3 straight timeouts, seemingly for gamesmanship. What was kind of your thoughts at that point and watching that last drive or so?
Well, like it took them a very long time to score. And at the beginning, like that whole drive, we had our backups in. And like it just shows how hard that those guys who most of them haven't had real in-game reps, and they were stopping the big team, first team guys. So that just shows a real big testament to those guys. It was just great to see them out there, and they stalled them as long as they could. They didn't get the result that they want, but those are reps that you can't take away from them.
What'd you think of Kirk calling those timeouts?
Kirk, I don't know. At first, I was like, okay, coach is gonna do him. So.
Okay, we have time for one more question for Chauncey, if anyone has a question. Okay, Chad.
Hey, Chauncey, just a big picture. 2 weeks in a row, you guys have played pretty complimentary football, offense, defense, special teams, and routed Big Ten opponents. How good are you feeling about the way you guys are playing right now?
I'm feeling great. Each week we're getting better. And as you can see, like it's starting to stack, but you can't get complacent. You got to come to work every day, come to practice every day with your hard hat, ready to get better. You can't let today beat you. Even if like today we won, but you don't want to live in the past. You got to always be working to get better.
Okay, just a quick follow-up. You've never beaten Penn State. This is your last chance. So how motivated are you guys to get that one?
I'm motivated to win everyone. So that just adds a little sugar to it.
Okay, thanks, Chauncey. Congrats on tonight's win.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Next up, we'll have quarterback Spencer Petrus.
That's tough. Good game. All right, you too.
For Spencer, raise your hand in the participant window. Thanks for joining us, Spencer.
My pleasure.
First question, Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Spencer, kind of take us through that touchdown pass to Amir. He went in motion, seemed to really free him up. What was that a discussion with you and Brian, or was that just something Brian sent in and you guys ran?
Yeah, it was a game plan. We practiced that all week. Saw some on tape that we liked, and really good job by Amir executing it. And Brandon, going back, Brandon had made a great play on that as well. A little bit of a rub play. So Brandon started it off and Amir executed it, ran a good route. So makes my job easy.
I guess when you look overall at the offense, what'd you think of the running game in particular and what Tyler Goodson was able to do again?
I'll give the credit, as much as I love Tyler, I'll give the credit to the offensive line and the receivers today, really, because this is a team that, they're tough. Their defense is tough. They're physical. And to open up the holes that they did, and the receivers to block the safeties, because their safeties are really low a lot of the time. And a lot of times that means the safety is the free hitter. So it's up to the receivers to go in there and dig those guys out. So great job by the offensive line and the receivers. And yeah, T Good and Mackay and Ivory, whenever they're in there, I think we all have great confidence in them that they're going to be able to make the plays. And you see it week in and week out. They run the ball hard. They run the ball really well. So, really proud of that effort.
Chad?
Hey Spencer, the offense kind of stalled there after the 14-0 lead. Did you feel, how'd you feel during that stretch when nothing seemed to be going right?
Everything that was when we were stalling out, it was all our own doing. Excuse me. I mean, obviously the turnover on my part, the interception, and then just penalties, that sort of stuff. That's going to stall anyone out. So really just got to, keep the faith and kind of just get back to chopping away. And, we did that. And it was something we did well that maybe we didn't do well week 1 or week 2 is when we do stall out, get right back. Next time we go out there, keep moving. And I thought we did a good job of really, bouncing back and making plays.
The play to Goodson to end the third quarter is a run play. Is that something you knew was going to work at some point tonight, that you guys could hit that? And that seemed to be a big time to hit that.
I don't. Oh, yeah.
45 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that goes back to really good block by Monty Pottebaum on that. I believe it was Monty, by the fullback, and the offensive line opened up a huge hole. And I mean, we've seen what Tyler can do with the ball in his hands. He's dynamic and, running, offensive line, great job. But yeah, we felt like we were really chopping away in the run game. We're getting solid yardage every play, and one of them's bound to pop, and it did. So,
Tom?
Hey, Spencer, have you guys found something with this kind of new look offensive line the last 2 weeks? It seems like the run game has really kind of exploded in these last 2 games. Yeah,
I mean, I think across the board, our offensive line, we've lost some depth just with injuries and that sort of thing. But I mean, I think we all have been really confident in our offensive line this whole year. And they've done a great job of the next man up mentality, obviously with Coy out and Shooter out. But yeah, I mean, I think we're all confident. Obviously they're playing really well. And I'll go to say, like, we have depth there that I think we're confident that if, it's almost inevitable sometimes someone's going to go down, and I know the next man up will go in there and execute his job as well.
Jeff?
Yeah, Spencer, how did you feel you coped with the coldest temperatures you played in?
Pretty well, I think. At first it's a little chilly, but once you start playing, start sweating a little bit. It's not too bad. And as you can see, I have this long sleeve on, and as soon as we come to the sideline, we have heated benches and like a coat. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too cold, I don't even think. No pinstripe bowl weather out here. So yeah, not too bad.
Scott?
Yeah, I mean, based on that now we're 4 games into your career. I mean, how do you grade yourself? Consider it a midterm, if you will. I mean, do you feel like you're progressing in the way you want to, or how do you grade yourself at this point?
Yeah, I think every week, I'm improving and getting more comfortable. The one thing I need to continue to eliminate is turnovers. That really hurts the team, and had one today, which was a really bad decision. But those are going to happen. Going to make bad decisions. But I think just like our football team, we're getting better week to week, and I think I'm doing the same thing.
You talked a little bit about the offensive line and how they looked. I mean, Alaric Jackson and Tyler Linderbaum seems to be at another level from even most of their peers in the Big Ten. How instrumental are they to the success right now of what you guys were able to do, especially in the running game, but overall offensively?
Yeah, I'll say obviously their play is outstanding, but even better is really their leadership. Tyler's been a leader since this team has started in January, and AJ the same way. AJ has really stepped up as a leader, and it's really awesome to see. As a teammate of his, it's as both of theirs. They're really vocal, really positive, and they help the young guys along. And I'm really grateful that I get to share the field with them.
But what about like in running zone? It just doesn't seem like, I mean, they have leadership qualities, but they also seem to be dominating their opponents. That's really seem to be allowing this running game to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. I'd say, there's 5 of them that are doing a great job, but certainly, Tyler's a beast as well as AJ. And, I couldn't be happier with the way they're playing.
Any other questions for Spencer? Okay, thanks, Spencer. Congrats.
Thanks. See you guys.
We are awaiting the next player. I believe it will be Tyler Goodson. Might be a minute or two. He's finishing up radio. Stand by. Okay, we have Tyler Goodson here. Congrats on tonight's win, Tyler.
Yes, thank you.
We'll start out with a question from Scott Doctorman.
Yeah, Tyler, could you look in the final play of that third quarter? It looked like you guys ran outside zone out of 20 personnel, 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs, and you were able to explode for 45 yards. What did you see on that play? And then the blocking that Brandon Smith had seemed to be almost like having a tight end out there at times.
Yes, we've really, Coach Foster really keyed in on how the backers play, and their backers like to run and overflow. So I saw the play side backer overflowing. I just had to make the cut, and I knew somebody was going to come backside to try to tackle me. It was all about just running through the hole and breaking the arm tackle.
Nick?
Tyler, for you guys, what was the biggest, coming to this game and looking at this defense, where did you guys see opportunities there to take advantage of, especially
the opportunities that we needed to take advantage of was being able to run the stretch play, and the stretch play worked out really well for us. The guys up front did a fantastic job in getting to their blocks, reaching guys, and it allowed us as a running back unit to get through the holes that we needed to be successful in the run game.
Quick follow-up to that. I mean, when you're running out there and you got blockers out in front of you, got kind of several doors to pick from, what is that like as a running back?
Yes, it's pretty good to see, knowing that you have multiple ways and multiple options to go through. But once again, it's all about just making a quick decision and go. You can't be really decisive in this game. Being decisive will allow you to slow yourself down and allow you to not gain as much yards as you really want to.
Chad?
Hey, Tyler, have you played in a game this cold before?
No, not that I can think of.
You look pretty cold in the exercise bag.
Right, it doesn't get too cold down in Georgia, but the heated benches and the big old coat saved me, and having the teammates being able to sit beside me kept me a little warm, so it wasn't too bad.
Did you know you were going to be a big part of the game plan and be busy so you could stay warm?
Yes, the game plan was to be able to be successful in the run game, and obviously we were able to do that. Our O-line, once again, our O-line did a fantastic job of just getting to their blocks and honing in on the fundamentals and allowing us to get open holes to run through.
Tom?
Tyler, you mentioned your offensive line, but your fullbacks and tight ends have been doing a pretty good job too. What are your thoughts on those guys and the holes they've opened up for you?
Yes, tight ends and fullbacks are also kind of O-linemen. They do a good job of running through blocks, reaching guys, and I can't thank those guys enough for allowing this running back group to be successful in the run game. And the more successful we are in the run game, the better chance we have of winning.
Jeff Johnson?
Yeah, Tyler, you guys are halfway through this season now. Where do you think you are as a team?
Right. As a team, I think we're really finding out who we are as a team. We're starting to play collectively, hitting on all cylinders. So I think from now on, it's just all about taking baby steps and being able to progress each and every day to become better. So we'll be able to win big games in the future.
Scott?
Yeah, when you mentioned the outside stretch play, I mean, Alaric Jackson seems to be blocking it at a different level, especially on that play. He's setting the edge and then destroying whoever's in front of him, and almost. In what way are you watching him, especially if you have to go outside, and how is he impacting the way you're running?
Right. For me, I know I can trust him on the edge. I don't really worry about who's in front of him or who's coming down to take him head on. I just know he's going to get the job done and make the block for me to be successful. And he's a fantastic player.
Did you try to pick up the pig in the locker room?
Yes, we picked up the pig, but it's a little too heavy. I need a couple of old linemen to help me pick it up.
Tom?
Speaking of the locker room celebration, last week you guys had a pretty good one going. What was the celebration like? Was it similar tonight? Did you guys have the music going and everything?
Yes, we had the music going after everybody took their pictures with the pig. Locker room this team has really built their confidence, and you can see it after the games when we win. It's just a great thing to be a part of.
Scott?
Yeah, your first 2 weeks were just so frustrating because you were so close to winning and probably feel like you should have won. And then to see what you've been able to do the last 2 weeks, I mean, what do you expect for the future of this team? I mean, do you think you can continue on this trajectory and finish the year strong?
Yes, I do. As long as we take care of the football, limit turnovers, and progress on the fundamentals, I think this team will be we could do great things here at Iowa. Like I said before, this team has created a great bond with each other, and it's showing on the field. And we're able to become successful.
We have a couple more minutes with Tyler, if anyone else has any more questions. Chad?
I guess just circling back to how big of a deal this was. I mean, given the offseason you guys had, just how good of a feeling is it right now to get back-to-back wins in the Big Ten?
Yes, it's a great feeling for sure. It builds our confidence knowing that we could beat any team each and every week. We expect great things in the future, and I believe this team can make those great things happen.
Okay, 2 more questions. Steve Batterson?
Yeah, Tyler, how would you see Spencer grow from week 1 until now?
I can't hear you. Can you say the question again?
Yeah, sure. Spencer's growth from week 1 until now. How would you assess it?
Can you say that one more time?
Spencer Petrus, his growth from last week.
Yes. Spence, like I've always said, Spence is a great quarterback. It's just taking him some time. The game to slow down for him. He's growing tremendously. His first 2 games was obviously not the way he wanted to go, but Spence comes in with a fresh mind each and every week, ready to lead the team and ready to get a victory. So his growth is growing tremendously.
Okay, last question, Scott.
Yeah, what did you think at the end there when Kirk's or your coach is calling a bunch of timeouts to try to, preserve the shutout, but also it seemed to rankle the mighty Gophers. I mean, what was kind of your thoughts on that?
Right. I think they were playing games, honestly, but at the same time, I was ready to come to the locker room because it was getting pretty cold, just sitting down there on the sideline. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jack Campbell. If you have a question for Jack, please raise your hand. Okay, first question, Chad Leistokow.
Hey, Jack, can you just walk us through what it was like to prepare for this game after 3 weeks of mono? How'd you feel out there?
Yeah, no, I felt good. I felt completely normal. There really wasn't more like any preparing to do. I guess I just had to go out there and just give it my all. And obviously, Coach Parker and Coach Wallace and Coach Bell just had the defense in the right place the whole game, it seemed like. And, I mean, we gave up too many rushing yards at the same time, but we came out the win, and that's all that matters. So.
Okay, well, you look pretty – you sound tired.
No, I'm all good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
How'd you feel you felt 100% out there, though?
Yeah, I felt 100%.
Jeff Johnson.
Yeah, Jack, how much time did you anticipate getting tonight? I mean, did you have any idea how much playing time you'd get? Was it more or less than maybe what you thought?
No, coming into the game, Coach Wallace told me and Seth Benson that we'd be rotating every 2 series. And we stuck to that plan pretty well. And, yeah, that's about it on that. I mean, Ben's played his balls off tonight and did a great job. So,
Mark.
You bottled up.
Hey, Mark, are you there? Mark? Okay, we'll go on to Scott Docterman.
This was a really explosive offense coming in, with not only the running back, but, wide receiver and stuff. I mean, you guys seem to really understand what they were trying to do. And how are you able to get into their heads to be able to shut them down up until the final 10 seconds of the game or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts during the week in practice, just practicing hard and just, preparing for the game. So when you get out there, it doesn't seem like too bad. I mean, Minnesota offensively, yeah, they're high-powered. They have really, really good players. But at the same time, we just got to know that we have really good defensive players on our side. So just, to answer your question, I feel like just practicing hard during the week and then everything will fall into place. So.
Was there something specific that you had to do to slow down Ibrahim? I mean, was it, he's big, he's physical, he can run fast, he runs hard, he had 1 million yards coming in. I mean, did you feel like you had to do something specific to force him, so he doesn't get off to the races or whatever against you?
Yeah, I mean, as a defense, we knew we had to stop the run because it's a big part of their offense. But at the same time, we didn't look at this guy and say, we'd have to do anything specific to him. We just had to get to our fits and play physical and just hustle around. So, I mean, you can't really ask for much more.
Got time for 1 or 2 more. Chad.
How good do you think this defense can be, or how did you guys see this coming in camp? I guess the version of camp that you had.
Yeah. I mean, during camp, we knew he could be really, really good. I mean, even tonight we left. I can remember we left a lot out there. I feel like in the third quarter with that. I think they had 11-minute drive. So we got to kind of get that corrected. But other than that, yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for this defense. I mean, we have great leadership in every position group with D-line, linebackers, and secondary. So, I mean, it's just how committed is everyone mentally, I feel like, because I feel like we have all the physical tools we need. And I feel like we have 11 guys out there who are all mentally committed. So I'm just going to say that the sky's the limit for this defense. So.
Okay. Thanks, Jack. Congrats on tonight's win.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Next up, we have Jack Koerner. If you have a question for Jack, raise your hand. Okay, we'll start with Darren Miller.
Yeah, Jack, 11 straight games with an interception now. How much is that a focus for the secondary or the defense in general?
Yeah, we're always trying to get takeaways. We have our defensive goals every week and at least three takeaways, whether that be interceptions or fumbles, or that's one of the goals every week. So that's definitely a point of emphasis, and we've been doing a good job.
Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Jack, can you talk about the play where you blocked that field goal, and I guess how eager were you guys to try to preserve that shutout?
Yeah, that was definitely something that we knew we were playing for. You know, it seemed evident that we were going to get the win pretty early, and so we were just playing for pride and making sure that we went into the week knowing that we could, we practiced well and everything. And so getting that shutout was pretty important to us. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah, and we knew on field goal that they were susceptible to a corner block. So Nick Neiman did a great job of pinning that wing's arm, and I was able to jump through there and get a thumb on it.
Chad.
So Iowa has never beaten until today Minnesota 6 straight times. I mean, how satisfying is it for you guys to keep this going against Minnesota? Obviously, you grew up in this state, so you know the rivalry. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously it's a trophy game for us, so those just carry a little extra weight, and it's just something that is really the whole week everybody's focused on, and so we're just glad that we were able to come out with the win and do it in such great fashion.
Scott?
Yeah, no, going into this game, you guys obviously looked pretty well prepared for what Minnesota brought. I mean, was there any kind of sense of urgency early on that in the week and practice that what they're capable of doing, so you got to everybody be in tune, or did this is this kind of an organic defense that everybody pulls the same weight even in practice, and this is the result?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, but yeah, we definitely put a point of emphasis on their third downs. They try to get first and second down to get themselves into a third and short, third and manageables, and so that was a point of emphasis to be great on first and second down, and then of course on third down, it's got to get off the field, and so we did a really great job of that in the first half. Slipped a little in the second half. We're giving up a little too many rush yards and big plays, but all in all, I thought we did a great job of limiting them.
Mark?
Yeah, Jack, you can pretty much see everything in front of you. What impressed you the most about what your defense did today? What did you guys do best?
I think that everybody just really just came out with a hunger, and everything has started in practice this week, and we had a really great week of practice and kind of carried that over into the game. That was something that we felt great about practice, and that was really we were focusing on, was to bring that to the game. And so just when I can be back there playing safety and see that the run's not going to go for any yards, and I don't got to come steaming up there to try to stop the run, that's a pretty good feeling. So huge credit to our D-line and linebackers.
Chad?
Yeah, in the first game of the season, you didn't have Seth Benson or Jack Campbell. Now you got them both. Can you give me a sense of how big of a lift that's been for your defense, those two guys?
Oh yeah, those guys just have a nose for the ball. I mean, it just makes it playing defense a lot easier when you got guys like that who really would just put their bodies on the line, do anything for the team, and really get a tackle by any means. So, and then of course from the mental aspect, they're both been doing a great job. So definitely great to have them back.
Okay, last question, Scott.
I'm sure you guys when you look at the first two games, you probably feel like there's some opportunities that you let slip by, but you didn't let anything slip by the last 2 weeks. What's the trajectory of this team and your defense over the last 4 to 5 games of the season?
Yeah, I think this team and this defense specifically can be as good as it wants to be. Those first 2 weeks, there were just a couple plays here and there. If they would have went differently, maybe we could have got the win. But everybody seemed to be pretty down on us after those 2 losses. But I think that internally we know what we're capable of, and we have good players, and it's just going to take a little bit of meshing, and we're going to get better with time. And I think that's starting to really come to fruition. And so I think that this team can be as good as it wants to be, and I think I'm excited to keep seeing how well we can be doing.
Okay, thanks, Jack. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Okay, final player for tonight is center Tyler Linderbaum. Okay, first question, Scott Docterman.
Tyler, what is it about your stretch play right now that makes it so successful?
I think we just got a lot of guys, putting vertical pressure on the D linemen, getting after it. We got good takeoff going and getting good push on the line. we just got great backs that can read and hit the seams.
This seems to be as good as it's ever been, or at least in recent history, I guess, whatever that is. What is it about Tyler Goodson that he's able to make some of those plays, even though in the past you guys may have had those holes open, but he's able to really exploit them?
Yeah, he's a quick and elusive back. Can read holes very well. And just all we got to do is just try to block for him, make some holes, and he'll find them. I think all our backs can do that. Put anyone out there, and they're going to find that seam and hit the hole hard.
Chad?
So last play of the third quarter, you guys busted a 45-yarder to Tyler. Offense hadn't done anything for quite a while. Did you have some frustration building up there, and you kind of let it out with that big run, so to speak?
I don't know. Yeah, we just had to stay on it. O-line kind of we want to finish on our terms, and just finish strong. That was a big run. It was a nice run. Was it T-Good or Mackay? I don't know,
Goodson,
whoever it was,
yeah.
but it was a nice run.
Scott?
Looking at this team, your first two games you were really close. The last 2 weeks, the games haven't been close, but you seem to really be taking a higher trajectory as a team. What can you guys do over the next month to make this a memorable season?
Yeah, we just got to continue to come in and practice better. And the offensive side, at least, we can still practice better. Coach hit on that. We can still practice better, which is a good thing. We're coming out here these last 2 weeks and playing our butts off. But come Sunday, got to watch the film, learn what we need to improve on, and then just come out and practice and work on it.
Okay, last question.
Tyler, what kind of growth are you seeing from Spencer in the last couple of weeks? Do you get a sense that he's kind of growing as this team is growing?
Yeah, absolutely. Being a first-year starter, Spencer has really just took command of the offense. Getting guys where they need to be. I've said it in interviews before. He just has a leadership mentality and leadership personality, which is very beneficial to our team.
Okay, thanks, Tyler. Congrats on tonight's win.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, Coach, all set whenever you're ready.
Okay, so, obviously just extremely proud of our football team, players, the way they competed and, the way they're growing as a football team right now. So just really proud of those guys. It was great to have an opportunity to bring Floyd back home with us. So we're obviously thrilled about that. And just like Tyler just got done saying, there's still some things we need to work on and get better at. But the big thing is that we are improving right now. And that's kind of been our focus here all the way through this. So just happy about that. I think overall our guys really showed up tonight and played tough, and they played hard. Playing and play out, and obviously did a good job up front. And that was a focal point for us. We knew we'd have to be successful up front if we're going to have a chance to win this football game. So part of the reflection of that is just Tyler Goodson, rushing. I guess he got a career high tonight, so that's great. And Mackay did a good job also. And other significant thing in that third quarter. They had that long drive, and then for our guys to dig in and get a stop there and keep them off the scoreboard, that was certainly a big turning point, I think. And then, the offense came back and responded there. So just a lot of highlights, certainly. Jack Koerner, Moss, and Torrey continues to punt the ball well. So just a lot of really good efforts out there. Most important is a good collective team effort, and just, again, really proud of our football team.
Okay, first question, Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Kirk, what is it right now about your outside slant zone play that's made it so successful, especially in that third quarter? I think you had 2 backs and 3 receivers on the field when Tyler went for like 45, but it just seems like the execution's at a higher level than it's been consistently for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're getting better as the year goes on, and every week's a challenge. It's always going to be a challenge, and but the guys did a good job up front. We ended up going with the same lineup we went with last week, and the guys practiced well and did a good job with the execution. And then certainly our fullbacks are part of that too. You know, them fitting in and making the block. Those are critical blocks. And I know on one of them right in front of our bench there, Tyrone Tracy on the outside made a really good block also, which helped, help the ball go further down the field. All that stuff goes together.
Mark Emmert.
Yeah, Kirk, your defense did a pretty good job today on their two big stars. Ibrahim and Bateman never really got going. What did your defense do best today? What impressed you the most?
Well, we're certainly growing there. And week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I thought we had a big challenge last week in just trying to stop the big play. Those guys had done a really good job of that the week prior to that. And then coming in this game, Minnesota's a very veteran team on the offensive side. Not only veteran, but really, really talented. Veteran offensive line, big physical group. Their skill guys are outstanding. 3 really good receivers, and the running backs as good as you're going to find, and the quarterback's done a great job. So it was a total team challenge for us, and just really, I think we've always believed, going back to Norm, that it takes 11 guys to stop a good offensive football team. Not one guy's going to do it, and I think that's what we saw today. It was more than one, obviously, because we're 7 personnel groups, but the guys are continuing to grow, and I think doing a good job against the run is really where it all starts. When people run the ball at will on you, it's hard to be successful defensively. So I think our guys really did a good job there. It was a good starting point for us.
Tom.
Hey, Kirk, do you want to talk about what was going on at the end of the game with both sides kind of calling timeouts and seems like just playing to the end of this game?
Well, they called a timeout, I guess, to get a look at what we're doing or reconsider. So we just kind of wanted to make sure we got a good look at what they were doing. And no sense taking them on the bus with us, right? I think you guys were reminding me of that a couple of times over the last 22 years. So figured we'd take Floyd with us and leave the timeouts here.
Austin.
Hey, Kirk, how important was it for the morale of this team to get 2 big wins after starting the season 0-2?
Every week's a challenge. But anytime you lose a game, you have to worry about, just how the guys are doing because they're young. And, those of us that have been around the game for a while realize there's ups and downs during the course of any season typically. It's not always wins and losses, but you're always going to be dealing with something. So, you got to worry about that. Worry about that with any football team, any football player. But really, really proud of the guys because even after that first loss, I thought they worked hard. We made improvement in game 2. Unfortunately, we weren't good enough. We were a point short against a good team, and but the guys kept working. They never have been deterred this year, and I think they've kept focusing on trying to get better. And that's what we're gonna have to do. And we get a full off day tomorrow. It's kind of nice actually. Nice thing about a Friday game, but that we're gonna have to go back to that same principle on Sunday because. There's a lot of football left, and we still have a lot of improvement to make.
Mark?
Yeah, Kirk, you mentioned Torrey Taylor earlier, but it seemed like I started every drive on their 10-yard line. How important was field position for you guys today?
Yeah, I can't say enough about Torrey. He just, it seems to be totally, unfazed by the weather, unfazed by everything. He's doing his job really well. And I got to tell you, a month ago, I wasn't sure if he could do plus 50 punting. Because again, this is all kind of new to him, but boy, he sure seems to have an knack for it. And his kicking, his putting the other team in bad field position over the last 2 weeks has really factored into our success. It's such a huge advantage if he can do that to make a team have to work with a long field.
Scott.
You look at the defense, obviously preparation seems critical in the way you guys were able to compete against, a really good offense with NFL caliber players. But you also had a short week of preparation. Last week you had a messed up week of preparation. Is that maybe the key is to not have a solid plain week of preparation to do what you've been able to do the last few weeks and maybe going forward?
I've actually been joking about that because next week, quote unquote, is a normal week, and it's going to feel really abnormal because after 2 weeks of the past 2 weeks. But that's college football right now, and it's only fitting we're in a COVID era. Everything's just really different this year. So one thing we've always believed: short weeks like this one, it really is a test of the maturity of the football team and their ability to focus. Because you can't practice the way you would with a 7-day week. You just can't do it realistically. So, it really amps up the necessity for everybody to really be focused, make every rep they get in practice count, And then in the meetings, really make those count too, because we can meet. And, I can't say enough. You never know how it's going to go, but it's 2 weeks in a row right now where our guys have been wired in. And then this circles back to, the question earlier about, you come off disappointing performances. That's one set of circumstances you deal with. Hopefully now we're not ready to, try to have a parade or something like that because we won 2 games. It's still a long road in front of us. And we just need to keep focused on what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to do moving forward.
Okay, we have time for 2 more questions. Chad.
Hey, Kirk. Spencer Petrus had a rough, I guess, 2 quarters or so there. Were you feeling for him at that point? I mean, what were you thinking then? Did you even think about a change even? But then he kind of settled in then late in the game.
No, I never thought about changing him. But, you live and die with everything going on out there. And, it's just the way it is. And with a new quarterback, there's going to be some growing pains. We all knew that. And I'll remind everybody, it's a new quarterback without the luxury of a spring practice, which is huge. Talk to anybody that played quarterback, which I certainly didn't, but talk to anybody that has. That's major. So, that's part of what you're seeing right now. But I think I speak on behalf of every coach and every player on our team. You just heard Towers say the same thing, Linderbaum. We just all have great confidence in Jack. We got great confidence in Alex too. He's really growing. So, we're just going to keep pushing forward. And there's no question about our confidence in Spencer. And again, feel the same way about Alex. I think we have a good situation there, and we just need to keep pushing forward.
Okay, last question, Darren.
Coach, you touched on Riley and Jack a little bit. 11 straight games now with an interception. Just how important were those turnovers tonight, and maybe the significance of that interception streak you have going on?
Yeah, the turnover takeaway ratio is critical. If there's one stat that really means a lot over the years, there's been exceptions, but over the years, that's one that's big. So, we don't necessarily have a turnover drill, but, our guys are aware of it. And usually turnovers come because guys are playing hard and they're, hustling and being opportunistic. So great to see both those guys do what they did. And, our defense has really done a good job getting the takeaways. And then, for the most part, we're doing a better job. I think this is 1 turnover now in 2 weeks. So, if we can keep that ratio where it needs to be, that gives us a chance to be successful. It's not everything, but it sure is a starting point. And again, I don't know how good we are at, but I know our guys are aware of that and they're aware of how important it is. So hopefully we just keep pushing forward in that regard.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
A reminder, media, for you to email Steve Rowe player requests for Tuesday. Email those to Steve by Sunday morning. So same drill there, just a friendly reminder, safe travels to everyone that traveled to Twin Cities. We'll talk to you next week.